Happy May 4th, everyone. I know it's tough being a Star Wars fan nowadays, especially with a certain someone not stepping down. Why do you hate me? But it's not about the failures of Disney, or at least not yet. No, I want to talk about Star Wars stories that isn't ass cheeks, that has actual good writing and characters. I want to talk about Knights of the Old Republic 2. Let's start with the characters. You play as the Exile, ex-Jedi and veteran of the Mandalorian Wars. But you have been disconnected from the Force after the war. Canonically, you are a woman, but you can pick either male or female, which plays a significant role in the game. If you're a male, you get a woman companion named Handmaiden. If you're a woman, you get a male companion named Disciple. After the war, the Jedi were near ruin and only a handful of them were left. The Republic is also in a similar fate, a dying, stagnant beast who is just barely clinging to life. The Sith are hunting you since they think you are the last of the Jedi, and it's your job to either find out where the other Jedi are to help them, or to kill them to get revenge for exiling you. You can take two paths during this game, if you go to the dark side or the light side. I think the light side is a better choice because you're more of a character and a person, you have more death, while the dark side run is just kill, 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 kill. And speaking of death, let's start talking about the companions you can get. Also, I am playing this with the Restore Content mod, so it adds a bit more of the extra things.
His hair, whack! His gear, whack!
Alright, we're starting badly because I don't like Disciple. One of my pet peeves in an RPG is having a companion love you as soon as you meet them. So in this game, you get influence with certain companions by doing certain events or talking to them or agreeing with them, and you can either get max negative influence or max positive influence. And with Disciple, you can just get it in a conversation under like 20 minutes. You can make him love you in 20 minutes of meeting him. He's also just a very bland character. He's also just sucks when it comes to combat because he starts as a soldier, but then you can make them into a Jedi when you get max influence, and then he becomes a support class. So if you built him to be a tank, and then you make him a Jedi, now he's support, and the game just gives you a middle finger for building him that way. It's just, you just wasted your time with him now. The only cool factor about him that he was going to be your Padawan until the Mandalorian Wars happened and you went to war, and he wants to save the Republic. He's a boring ass bitch.
I don't even know who you are.
If I had to describe Godo, he's the constant companion I keep forgetting to talk to. He's not bad. He's just really forgettable. I get him in the game and I just never talk to him. When you get his influence checks, when you unlock his dialogue, you'll just never do it again. Godo wants to save the Republic, just like Disciple, which is funny that the two companions who want to save the Republic are the most boring characters to me. It kind of feels like they didn't have enough time to flesh out Godo because he doesn't really have much to say other than we must save the Republic. He's fine, just not a lot going on, and robots in this game are kind of annoying to deal with since their equipment is very expensive and sometimes they just suck at fighting. He's not awful, I forget about him a lot.
But I cannot see, I'm legally blind.
Alright, Blind Woman. It's a lot like Disciple. When you can get max influence really quick, but what makes it a bit better is that you actually do get to learn some important events. You learn what happened to the rest of the Jedi. She has a stake in the plot. She's kind of cool, the fact that she's blind but can see. And you do get bonuses with her when you kind of ask her questions about it. Her master is one of the main antagonists in the game. And honestly, she is kind of a cool character. She doesn't have much to say and isn't really that charismatic, but she does drop some cool lore and cool, like, events that did happen. She is kind of just a better version of Disciple, especially since she's also not useless in combat scenarios, because she's a Sentinel, so she's just average. She's serviceable. She's fine.
Get your fucking dog, bitch!
Mira is weird. I like her, but honestly, her backstory is a little strange to me. So you get her at Nar Shaddaa if you're on the light side. When you talk to her, you find out that her parents were killed during the war. When I first played this, I thought it would expand more on that explanation, or how the war affected her, or how, like, she misses her parents a lot. But no, she mostly talks about being a bounty hunter and the fucked up relationship with Hanar. Hanar is a Wookiee companion you get if you're on the dark side of Nar Shaddaa. It is cool when you can make her a Jedi. You have to take her back to Nar Shaddaa to make her hear all the voices. You know, kind of like spending her first time when she got there after the war. That is neat. I actually really like that. She also has wrist rockets, which I keep forgetting they're in the game. You pick them up and I'm like, oh yeah, I have that function, and I just never use it because I just forget about it. She's fine. Kind of like Goto, where you only really need to get her influence once, and then you know the entire story. But for her, I at least do it every time because she is more interesting than Goto, and having more Jedi is always better.
You see, his hands is unisex.
Handmaiden is cool. She's part of this woman cult that all look the same except for her. Since she has her mother's face and her other sisters don't like that, you get influence with training, and training you do is called Echani. Basically, it's just fist fighting her to get her to like you. And then they told me that hitting women is bad.
What did he say?
She's a soldier, and when you do make her a Jedi, she becomes just a bit more tankier and serves that purpose well. I don't want to go too much into her because she has a plot twist, and it's kind of really interesting once you do get max influence with her. I will be spoiling some things, but I don't want to spoil the entire game. Solid companion.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
Barad-dûr is interesting. Now, when I first played this game as a kid, I did not like Barad-dûr. He either kept dying, his remote exploded, or he was kind of useless. Granted, I kind of sucked at RPGs when I was a kid, so take that as you will. But now that I've replayed it, and honestly thought about his character more, he's really interesting. His connection to you is that he served with you during the Mandalorian War. You were his general, and he was the soldier, and he calls you as such every time you go talk to him. And Barad-dûr doesn't really work like the other companions. Once you have exhausted his dialogue, you can't go back to it. It's just gone. None of the options are there. With everyone else, you can repeat, but him, it's gone. And you can give him influence, and you can either be a complete dick to him, or be a good person to get positive or negative influence, which it kind of like reinforces that he sees you as a general. He might disagree with you. He might be like, hey, that was mean. You shouldn't do that. We should not be giving into our anger. Or he'll talk about how, I'm glad that the war didn't consume you and you're still a good person. But he never abandons you. And he only disagrees with you in the moment. Any other cutscene, he's still agreeing with you and saying, let's go do this, General. Let's go do it. It's like he's stuck in the war being your soldier. And you can either... And no matter what path you'll take, he'll just follow you. You can either help him find peace, or you can reinforce the war and help him find death and anger. Hanar, the big Wookiee companion. I like Hanar a lot. Probably more than most people. The reason why I love him is how fucked his mentality is. It's like talking to the Joker, seeing how insane he is, but if you put yourself in his brain or think about it just a little bit, you can kind of understand why they think like that. To give you an example, Wookiees have something called a life debt. Basically, when you save a Wookiee, they will protect you, keep you alive, even sacrifice themselves to do it. For Hanar, he kind of just sees it as slavery.
Ku Klux Klan!
Yeah, such a simple concept to other Wookiees, and Hanar was like, that's slaves. We are slaves now. He's also probably the best companion when it comes to combat. He is the most tankiest, but yet he can do such crazy damage. You're usually, when you're playing, you're the most powerful on the team. You're doing the most. But when you have Hanar, he's right up there with you. You two could probably solo the entire galaxy. He's usually my go-to when I go dark side runs. He's just a very interesting Wookiee, even if it's kind of annoying to hear the Wookiee noises every time you talk to him because they just reuse them. But if you're fine with reading, he's a very cool character, has a very fucked up mentality. I think he's pretty neat.
But tonight, we dine in hell!
Mandalore is a cool dude. Hell, the Mandalorians are cool. I know they're space Vikings. They murdered, they pillaged, they killed millions and almost probably close to trillions during the Mandalorian Wars. But when you talk to them, they don't hate you. They never give you crap. They never insult you. They respect you. They respect warriors, and they constantly make fun of the Republic and the Jedi who didn't go to war, calling them cowards. But when you meet up with them and talk to them, they literally just give you jobs and say, "You're a pretty cool dude. You deserve praise. You stopped us. You were the one of the ones who stopped us." Mandalore is the leader of the Mandalorians. He is in the first game. He's called Canderous, a Mandalorian bounty hunter who helps you in the first game. It isn't really a spoiler. The game tells you early on, and they have the same voice actor. It's just when I was a kid, I thought they were different people, but it was because, you know, I was an idiot back then. He kind of acts like your boomer grandpa or like a boomer uncle talking about the good old days, and if they haven't changed the government, or if they were the ones that win, or they're the ones who had to walk up those 5 miles of snow up to school, they would be better off. He's a solid character. He doesn't really have much influence checks. You could just either get him to like you or hate you, but he will still talk to you about the Mandalorian Wars and what your opinion was. He's there, honestly, I would call him a filler companion. Pretty good filler companion, but he's there for filler and kind of just like, look, the first game.
Yeah, and I'm also good at running and drinking, Your Majesty.
Adden, my bronze medal. He is the Han Solo of the Old Republic. He flies the ship, makes jokes, says "I have a bad feeling about this, Scoob." He is one of the first companions you get. He's a great tutorial companion, teaches you all about how the influence works. He has a cool ability. When he gets knocked down, he can just get right back up. There's a lot of times when I was playing this and I kind of sucked ass, and he's always the one who saved my runs. He is just a good companion overall. He probably has one of the best backstories in game. I'm not going to explain it because while there are some spoilers here, I don't want to spoil everything. And sadly, the voice actor who played him did pass away recently. We will miss you forever. Thank you for being my favorite smuggler and one of the best pilots in the business. You will be missed.
I see through the lies of the Jedi.
Kreia is my silver. Now, I do like Adden a lot more than Kreia. But Kreia not only drops so much lore, she also has an ideology that is super fascinating. She's neither Jedi nor Sith. She is very true neutral in the game. She basically just wants us to constantly think about our place in the galaxy and to remind us our actions have consequences.
That your actions have consequences!
Sadly, I can't say much without major spoilers. She just has a lot of good moments when you talk to her and you do finally get influence with her. She does get a bit annoying because if you're just a bit nice to someone, she complains like, "Why are you helping that fool? He doesn't deserve it." But then when you're being evil, it's like, "God, you're so barbaric." It's like a nagging mother who's just like doesn't want you to do anything but just to sit there in the room and just stare at a wall. She's still worth it. A lot of cool moments, a lot of cool lore. It's just sometimes she can get annoying because it's honestly annoying to hear you criticize you all the goddamn time when you're just like giving $5 to the random hobo.
Query, is there someone that you need killed, Master?
HK is my gold. I love this guy so much. He is probably the most hilarious robot you will ever meet. Sadly, before the Restore Content mod, you can only get him in the late game. Now, you can get him pretty early with the mod. Like before, it was like Planet 3, where you get HK'd fully repaired, and then you're on the last planet. So it's like, well, that kind of fucking sucks. He's not just a funny droid. He does have some good story and lore, but I really just bring him around because he's hilarious. Even when I'm light side, and when I'm the good guy, he's a dark side evil robot who likes to murder things. I bring him around when I'm light side because he just makes me laugh. He hates you helping people so much, but it still just makes me laugh. You can even find a pacification mod, and you put it on him, and he's begging for suicide. He's just a fun robot to bring around.
Mockery.
Oh, Master! I do not trust you! I cannot trust you or anyone ever again!
Mockery.
Oh, Master, I love you, but I hate all you stand for. But I think we should go press our slimy, mucus-covered lips together in the cargo hold.
Conclusion. Such pheromone-driven human responses never cease to decrease the charge in my capacitors, and make me wish I could press a blaster pistol to my behavior core and pull the trigger. I am pleased that this does not seem to be the case with your current entourage.
He also calls everyone meatbags, because his master said, "That's funny, every organic now is a meatbag."
Your pupil once asked me what I thought of him, and I informed him of his meatbag status. He was unimpressed. but you found the reference humorous. You changed my programming so that I would continue to use the term. It drove your pupil to extreme lengths of frustration.
You do get an extra quest with the mod, the restore content mod, so my boy even gets more love now. Alright, I spent about 3 pages of my script talking about the companions. Now let's get to the real meat and potatoes of this game. Let's get to the plot and some of the messaging.
You guys suck.
So the Sith and the Jedi are the main kind of religious groups in the game, the main power. Let's go over the Sith. Now the Sith are the typical bad guys in this game, which kind of sucks, but at least they were given a good reason. They are a death cult, basically. They want to consume the entire galaxy in death. Many of them come from the Mandalorian Wars or learn from the Mandalorian Wars. You can also follow this way when you're the dark side playthrough, killing and destroying everything in your path to gain more power. Especially if you kill the Jedi, you literally consume them. It is the path of nihilism and hate. And I kind of do like it because I always like when a game explains why you get experience. Why killing a thing gets you experience. Because not only does it make you question yourself because you probably killed a lot of people just to get experience because you want to level up, but it's also just cool to give you a reason to be like, oh, that's why I'm powerful? Because I'm murdering someone? Oh. Now, let's talk about the Jedi. The good guys. But are they really the good guys? Yeah, they are. But it doesn't mean they don't have faults. And they're not flawed. They are very arrogant. They are very my way is the highway. When the Mandalorian War started, the Mandalorians were completely killing the Outer Rim planets. Millions were dying. The Republic was getting curb stomped to the ground. It honestly looked like the Mandalorians were going to win. So, they went to the Jedi to beg them for help. The Jedi said no, fearing that I would change them and their code. And to be fair, I kind of get it. They are peacekeepers. They're not generals in war. They don't need to go to war to help. But they decided just to kind of do nothing and just say, eh. And for the ones who do try to go to war, like people like Revan and the others, they try to make them not. They literally were setting Jedi to stop him, which kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth where it's like, yeah, I get why you don't want to join, but you forcing others not to join is pretty fucked up. And when they get back from the war, some of them did fall to the dark side, like Revan. But there are some that didn't, and yet they still punish those ones who came back to the Jedi Order just because they disagreed with them going to war. That's pretty scummy. Like, they're still the good guys, but at the same time, that's pretty fucked. The game also tells you multiple times that the Mandalorians were going to win, or at least completely ruin the galaxy. If they didn't get stopped, the galaxy would have been screwed. And even when you help the Jedi in this game, you prove that you haven't fallen to the dark side, you still following the code and helping people, they still distrust you and even try to harm you. They are so afraid of people not listening to them that they're willing to let the galaxy die a second time. Now, that being said, it's still evil to kill them. They are still doing good and believe in good. It's just that they're very flawed in their thinking. They're very arrogant. They don't want to change their religion or dogma of the Jedi Code. They just kind of want to continue the path. You paying attention over there? I saw you here in the corner. But they did help contribute to all the shit that is happening in the galaxy. Especially one ex-Jedi Knight named Revan.
I am not Sith.
Revan was a gifted, Force-sensitive individual. He was discovered in the Outer Rim territories and then trained as a Jedi. He fought in the Mandalorian Wars and then became Darth Revan, lost his memories, the Jedi reformed him, and killed his old apprentice. He was strong in the Force. They even described him like he was the heart of it, while being extremely good tactician. He was one of the best generals in the business. They write him like he's a force of nature. People talk about him as he's the inevitable. You can't resist him. He has an influence in everything in the galaxy, and everyone has opinion on him. Some fear him for the power he holds. Some respect him so much they would do anything and follow him anywhere. He literally had his own soldiers turn against their home planets to join him when he started the Civil War.
Full Already you presume much. You were there at Malachor. Revan's choices were always his own. It was not teaching or circumstance or example, it was him. Is that what he was? Or was he always true to himself, no matter what personality he wore? And there is something that the Council may never understand, that perhaps Revan never fell. The difference between a fall and a sacrifice is sometimes difficult, but I feel that Revan understood that difference more than anyone knew. The galaxy would have fallen if Revan had not gone to war. Perhaps he became the Dark Lord out of necessity, to prevent a greater evil.
While he had good intentions at the beginning of the Mandalorian Wars, he let darkness consume him and he accepted war. Revan is such a great character. He is so interesting, so multifaceted. Hell, the game debates you even when saying that maybe he didn't even fall to the dark side. Revan is a fan favorite, which makes him work so well. You can take him anywhere in the story. You can see him as Darth Revan, a man who found redemption, became a Jedi again, or become a bit of both. For me, I think he becomes a bit of both. He learns from his past, but he doesn't run away from it. And he tries to do better, but he still accepts that he has darkness in his heart. The fan film Rescue Mission is a perfect Revan in my eyes. He's so... I can't even describe the words right now. He is so well thought out in his movements, so controlled, such emotions play to his chest, but yet he has such anger behind them, and he wants to teach. He has such emotions that are buried in. He's so controlled, but also emotional, and that is a perfect Revan in my eyes. KOTOR 2 is a beautiful game. It's one of my favorites. I was too young to understand it when I first played it, but growing up and replaying it, God, this game is great. It only took them a year to make this game. I mean, they were rushed, and I wish they could have finished some stuff, but still, the fact that it took them a year and they're this good of writing, it's so good. It makes you explore the world, question the Jedi, question the Sith, question yourself and the status quo. It shows the Jedi in the negative light, but it doesn't demonize them. It doesn't say they're evil. Fine, I'll talk about you.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
The show isn't good. I've said it before. I don't like this show at all. But some people now are saying it's really good, that it was just misunderstood. Now, if you genuinely like this show, fine. Not the worst thing I've ever seen. But what really ticks me off is when people think this is like the first thing that was made to be critical of the Jedi, or to try something experimental, when it's just not. Disney has a habit of stealing from the non-canonical Legend comics and trying to pass them off as their own. Like, they think, oh, we decanonized this, but we can still use the idea. Ha ha ha. It's like Disney wants you to forget about the older Star Wars and just be like, no, we did it first. We are the ones who did it. They don't pay attention to Lucasfilms and what was made before. Like, the Acolyte could have been great if they followed what KOTOR did, making the situation more gray, making us question the dark side or question the Jedi. Just questions, not demonizing one and then making one morally good. You try to convince me that the Jedi are the evil people for the sake of the story, and the dark side people are the ones who have morality and are the good ones? That's stupid. You flipping around does not make it good, it just makes it confusing because 90% of the time, the Sith are doing this type of shit. I know I wanted to be nice for this video, because I do actually like complimenting things that I like and telling people, hey, you should go try this out. But I keep seeing all over, like when I just go on Google to look at a document, or I see it on TikTok where people says the Acolyte is really great, is misunderstood, nobody understands it. And it's like, no, it's none of those things. It's not the first to be critical of the Jedi, and it did it poorly. Go play KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2. They are one of the best narrative-written games, and they deserve all the love in the world. They are way better than what Disney can make right now, and it's just, go play them. They're amazing.